What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. Hopefully everyone is having a good Friday leading into the weekend. You can see we are very much green. We did have a nice little bounce. I'm going to be talking about what is happening intraday and some things that is coming out about Elon and the true reason why he's actually speaking out about Lucid and possibly even Rivian as well. But before we get into any of that though, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to pop over to my Discord, link in the description below. It's a good place to be. And one final thing I just want to share with you, make sure you guys take advantage of this promo. Link is in the description below. Just sign up, just deposit only $1 and you get up to 6 free stocks. So that's a crazy deal. Might as well take advantage of this during a bear market per se, and this is only until June the 30th. So take advantage of that. But with that, let's get right to it. So live ticker at the very bottom, we are currently up roughly about 0.75%, 5.8 million for volume. That is in the first 1 hour of the trading day. So that's a little bit more optimistic. Average volume is 28.2, and that is the 6-month average. And block volume, 1.2 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds just today alone. So before I get into the whole Elon thing and what's happening in the market, I just want to share with you. So I did do a live stream yesterday and I said this, and I'm going to keep on saying this. When prices are going down, there's a lot of manipulation in the market. I don't need to tell you guys that. It's been manipulated since the age of time. But when it comes down to, you need to always watch what institutions are doing. Institutions are buying big time all the time, but yet these same institutions are the ones shouting recession. So they're just out there spreading a lot of FUD, causing a lot of fear, getting a lot of retail investors to sell their shares very much cheap. And as you can tell, it's roughly about 6 million shares being purchased at least every single day. And this is just based on the dark pool as far as transactions. So what I mentioned at the very beginning about the block volume, that is completely separate. So take that in consideration when you are debating to sell, whether it be Lucid or any other growth stock. There's a handful of institutions that are just waiting up in line to buy that. So keep that in mind. Even though there is a lot of talk about recession, there's been a lot of talks about recession several times in the past. Obviously 2008 was actually a very realistic one, but if you do look back as well, 2011, there was a lot of institutions shouting, saying that recession, that we're going to go down to zero, because at the time there was Spain, Italy, Portugal, they were physically going to file bankruptcy. So at the end, we came up higher. And similarly, 2018, a lot of institutions are very fast to be shouting recession, but keep in mind, these same institutions will be in 1 or 2 weeks from now saying that it is a time to buy, that it's fairly safe to buy. Keep in mind, when they are coming out with that, they've already safely bought all their shares very much cheap from a lot of retail investors. So this is just a little bit more of a tangent I just wanted to share with you, because I am seeing a lot of bearish talk among very much bullish individuals on Lucid. So don't let a lot of the FUD and kind of just talk out there convert your mind. Make sure you always do your own due diligence at the end. Keep in mind though, I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for entertainment purposes, and I hope you are entertained. But getting back to it, I found this very interesting. So in general, we all know that Elon did come out saying that rivals Lucid and Rivian potentially are going to go into bankruptcy unless they slash costs. But when it comes down to it though, I think a lot of people interpreted this as that Elon is very much scared of Lucid, which we've kind of known that for a while. Elon's always really bashed Lucid, whether it be because of Peter kind of disregarding his kind of participation at Tesla, or a lot of different things. But in the end, we all know that Lucid has an amazing product, and this is why Elon is very realistic and should be scared. And so now there was something that did come out today that kind of adds to a little bit more of a jokingness about this, but definitely does show Elon's true intention and why he's getting so upset. So you can see right here. So Elon is furious, and he was talking to the Lexington Herald. He ultimately talks about the tax credit. So especially when I started to invest in Tesla in around the 2018, 2019, this is when there was a lot of fear about Tesla, because right now they were very heavily reliant on the federal tax credits. Hypothetically, even back then, they were saying that if they was to get removed, then Tesla would potentially go bankrupt, which even we know in 2018, they had several stints very close to bankruptcy. But still, it goes to say right here that he doesn't find it fair. So I feel like when I read this, I see this and I interpreted it as more of a playground. like a child's playground, and Elon just didn't get the ball, and now he's complaining. So unfortunately, based on all of this, he's complaining the fact that Lucid and obviously Ford get these tax incentives, but because of what Tesla and how they've sold more than 200,000 vehicles, they're not really inclined or allowed to get this same tax credit. So in the end, I think that this is a very strong positive for Lucid. It goes to show that we have a very strong base, that we do have this federal tax credit, which is a little bit more of an incentivizing reason for a lot of individuals to talk and to buy a Lucid, which in reality, I think a lot of people kind of stopped talking about this federal tax credit, which in reality is still a very big deal. Because I remember back then as well, Tesla and Elon, they were talking about this consistently, saying that they need to extend it, that for the health of all EVs, blah, blah, blah. So in the end, though, I highly recommend you guys reading this. It is not too much. It doesn't really say too much, but it still goes to show the mentality of what Elon is as of right now. It clearly shows that with this incentive right now, that likelihood of Lucid succeeding is very much increased. So that's how I read that, especially considering it does go to say that there's most likely a 20% difference as far as profitability. So in the end, that is very good for Lucid, especially if you do couple that with this. No CEO would ever come out and say that their rivals are going to file for bankruptcy unless they were scared to some degree. So I like this overall, but let me know your thoughts on Elon and what he's saying about Lucid in general. If you agree with him to some regard, let me know. Because obviously we all know, like in my channel, I like to give the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the ugly right now is that Lucid, as of to date, we haven't really produced the amount of vehicles that we should. We all know that. I don't need to tell you guys that, but that hands down is the only reason. For us being a starting up company, I think that's actually not bad whatsoever, especially considering our technology is through the roof. It's amazing. That's what sets Lucid apart. I'm pretty happy with Lucid. This is why I still continue to do Lucid. I still continue to buy Lucid, but still, once we get our production down packed, then we are going to be a very big force to be reckoned with, and Elon is going to be really talking about us all the time, especially once we are stealing their customers. So I see this as a win-win, and just more so as well, just wanted to give you a quick summary leading into the weekend on some technicals. So right now we're kind of pulling back a little bit, but looking on the actual chart, we are very much oversold, and that's a very big understatement. Looking at stochastic, we're at 18. Anything below 20 is a very great buying opportunity. There is no defined trend right now though. Momentum, you can tell number of retail buyers are down, number of individual buyers I should say, and RSI is fairly flat. And on the actual chart, we were up a little bit, like I said, roughly about 3%, very much green right now, but in the end though, it's just a little bit of consolidation. We don't know necessarily where we are going to go. There's still a lot of fear out there, but in the end, like I've been saying, take advantage of these deals. You might not always necessarily catch the bottom, but the whole intention with investing is you need to find a good company and kind of stick with it until it flourishes. Because keep in mind, when it came down to Tesla, I've already posted it on Twitter and things like that. Unfortunately, I sold Tesla way too early. And I'm not going to make the same mistake with Lucid, because when it came down to it though, I sold in roughly about 2019. I still did make some money, but in the end, in comparison to what I could have made it as, that's just night and day difference. So when it comes down to Lucid, yes, you might be at 15% or whatever it might be, but in reality, you could 10x if not more on Lucid, because right now we do have a better balance sheet, especially in comparison to when Tesla started out as. We have a better technology, better support base from institutions, and overall our expansion plans are a lot faster and more aggressive than when Tesla started out as. And so this is why I see Lucid is going to be a very big force to be reckoned with. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid in the comments below. Make sure you guys have a great weekend as well, and for those fathers out there, make sure you guys have a good Father's Day, have a drink, relax, do what you need to do, and also don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. But with all that said, appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.